Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today, me first. Basically, the whole idea that you have to be this selfless human being who is always thinking about others, always being super compassionate, always listening to them, hearing them out, being that sounding board. It all gets a little bit much. And while I'm sure all of us people pleasers are really happy to be there for our friends and family and to try and strive to make the world a better place and do all of that mindfulness and positivity and all that stuff, at some point you do have to just say me first. You have to look after yourself. I've talked about this before. It is not selfish to make sure that you are doing okay, that your head is above water. And even if it was selfish, that's not a bad thing. It's not inherently bad to be selfish. It's just bad to be selfish all the time. And recently I've sort of come to this conclusion that, I cannot be everything for everybody in my life. I'm talking personally. I'm not talking about social media. So don't come for me. Don't say like, oh my gosh, Jax, like, I'm so sorry. Like, no, it's fine. I'm good. I'm doing okay, guys. I swear. But I've been that sounding board, and I've been that expediter. I've made things easier. I've always tried to streamline everything. When I'm going out with a group of friends or whatever, I am always, trying to be the pillar of support, the stability, the one giving the ideas, the one making the plans, making the reservations, whatever it might be. I'm doing it. I'm bringing the stuff. I'm organizing. I'm getting the Uber. And it's all just got a little bit exhausting. And it's got to the point where I just want to breathe, and I want other people to step up and do some of this stuff. And so I've tried just sort of quietly stepping back and seeing what happens. And of course, chaos happens. Of course, it doesn't work out the way you want it. Nobody really steps up, which is unfortunate, especially with, people that you genuinely care about and want to see doing well. But what I've decided to do instead for the last little while is just not engage, just not deal with it, not always picking up the phone, not always doing that kind of stuff. And at first I felt really selfish. I felt, really bad. I was like, man, I'm letting people down, but you cannot be everything for everybody. And at some point you do have to put yourself first. And especially when you run into things like burnout or just feeling overwhelmed and over encumbered by just the fast-paced, busy life that you exist in. And normally I'm really good under pressure. I'm really good with those situations. I feel confident, and I'm sure a lot of you do too. I'm sure a lot of you feel really good helping others, and I certainly do. I feel much better helping others than working on myself or doing other things for me. And while that's great, I'm going to reiterate this several times. Me first. You first. You got to put your basic needs and your ability to enjoy life first, because if you are constantly prioritizing someone else, it doesn't work, and it's actually not good for them. And this can be applied to everything. When you first have a kid, I'm sure within the first year you need to really dote on that kid. If the kid's crying, you've got to attend to their needs and their problems and their issues, and make sure they're warm and well fed and taken care of and loved. But as any relationship, as you move forward, that relationship does change. That has to shift. And, the child starts to take on responsibilities as they get older. They, might have to brush their teeth by themselves. They might have to, get ready and put their bedtime pajama clothes on or whatever. And as a relationship matures, no matter what it is, if it's friends, if it's a parent-child relationship, whatever it is, that relationship needs to change. And you cannot be the selfless hero. You cannot solve every problem. I think we're seeing a lot of this, and they talk about the participation medal kids, which was, I think, basically my generation, where everybody got a participation medal, everyone, and at some point it's just like, nope, these people have to stand on their own 2 feet. They have to be able to do the things that they need to do without help, without the assistance of others. And the idea of being me first is not selfish, because you are letting people do it themselves, which is far better There's that saying where give a man a fish and he'll be fed for the day. Teach a man to fish and he will be fed forever. And that's a great way to be. I think a lot of us people pleasers don't realize that we're actually enabling bad behavior. We're enabling emotional emotional instability. We are allowing people to always come to us and fix the problem, talk it out. And there's never any like self-evaluation for these people. And I know I'm sounding like really harsh, and it's really like not that big of an issue in my own personal life, but I'm extrapolating it into a larger thing where being self-interested is not inherently bad. I think a lot of people think that idea of selfishness is somehow really detrimental to society, and it sure can be. Obviously, there are people that just take and take and take and hoard themselves, and that corrupts the whole apple cart. But to be self-interested and to focus on what you're doing and to meet all of your basic needs and make sure that you are achieving what you need, you're eating right, you're sleeping well, you're doing all of the things that you should be doing for yourself, for your long-term health. That is so critical. And, we all get to a point where we are not meeting our basic needs, but we're still being everything for other people. We're still being that support. We're being of course, I'll help you out, whatever. But you do get to a breaking point, and that breaking point is really important because it either breaks you, it either breaks them, or it develops into a healthy equilibrium where actually this person can function without you and you can function just as you should be. And so I really implore you to, look at the relationships in your life and ask yourself, is there any grounds for me to sort of say me first? Like I can't help you if my head isn't above water. If I'm drowning, I can't come over and save you. And if I'm not, meeting all of my basic needs, this isn't sustainable and we can't keep doing this. And it takes a lot of reflection to get to that point. I'm thankful that, I've just been feeling a bit burnt out. I haven't hit a rock bottom. There hasn't been any critical failure. Because that's the real worry, is that if you are a super important support to somebody or to, whatever it is, and you have a critical failure, that can lead to a really disastrous situation. That can lead to serious problems. And so assessing and seeing that the problem is in the distance, I can see oh, we're going to come to a real problem. And, that problem could be anything from me just exploding on a person one day and just being like, why can't you do it yourself? And ruining a relationship. It could come in terms of that person really stumbling and then needing you and you're not there for them. It can come from a multitude of different factors. I mean, there's an infinite number of possibilities in life. And you always want to try and maintain your balance and be on the top of your game, essentially. And you can't do that if you're constantly focusing on other people. So that's basically what I wanted to say. It is not selfish to put yourself first and just to make sure that your head is above water. Maybe you're butterfly kicking, you're swimming really well, you're going at a good pace. And then sure, if you need to stop and help somebody or be there for somebody, you're able to do that. And you're also able to give better advice. You're able to be there for the person because your needs are met. I think a lot of people pleasers will have some real issues going on in their lives. And instead of focusing on them and doing the work and being a little selfish, they would much rather help other people and they would much rather be there for other people instead of fixing what they've got at home. There was this crazy statistic several years ago where it said that when your pet, like a pet dog, a pet snake, a pet cat, whatever you've got, when your pet gets sick and you're given medication from a veterinarian and says, oh, make sure to take these twice a day or whatever, it was something like 95% of people carried out that prescription perfectly and, to the letter, made sure that, if the dog needed a pill in the morning, they got it. And then the one at night, they were 95% likely to finish the whole prescription, not miss a day, all of that. When it came to a prescription for themselves, they were less, it was about 40% of people actually carried it out through themselves. So that just proves that we are altruistic, and we're very happy to help other people and fulfill what they need to do. You know, you got to take this prescription, whatever it is, you know, I need this medicine. And yet, when it comes to ourselves, we either don't even go to the doctor, we don't even get help for ourselves. You know, sometimes these things are caught way too late, and, you know, you're stuck with some real damage. Or if you do go and you self-abdicate and you get what you need, you're not likely to finish the whole prescription or do what you need to do, you know, physiotherapy, recovering your joint or whatever. And I think that speaks a lot. Like we are so happy to jump in and help other people, which I think is awesome. Like, what a great thing for the human condition to be. But we need to advocate for ourselves. We need to do the work for ourselves. It is so easy to give dating advice or any of this stuff, but actually carrying it out, actually exhibiting it and doing what we're supposed to do, and, you know, dropping the guys that we know are toxic, why don't we do that? Why don't we put ourselves first? So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying me first, you first. Make sure that you take care of yourself, and if you want to help other people afterwards, awesome. Go out there and save the world. So that is my thought for the day. I hope you are having an amazing day. I hope this video finds you in good health and you're able to just focus on what you got to do. And don't be afraid to be a little selfish today. Don't be afraid to, you know, do something you want to do, and don't let other people interject or spoil it. And even if like you have a friend that constantly calls you for dating advice or something, don't pick up today. You know, let them work it out themselves. And that is totally fine. And if they don't forgive you, you didn't need them anyway. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have an amazing day. I love you guys lots. And as always, I will talk to you tomorrow.